Hello friends and welcome to my playthrough of Cipher Zero. My name is Jonathan and we are going through phase by phase of this puzzle game that is somewhat reminiscent of the logic puzzles that we solve day to day, though I'm learning as I go, and one of the things I'm learning is that it is different in that many of the puzzles do not have unique solutions. Instead, the puzzle is really understanding what the criteria are for the solutions and coming up with at least one valid solution. This is a blind playthrough, so please comment below, but keep your comments spoiler-free if you would. And let's find out what the next biome has to offer. So far, looking at my notes, we have something that we've learned about the kind of tick marks that are sort of nonogram-ish in the way that they work. We have the diamonds that behave a little bit like snake endpoints, and we have dots in the grid that talk about neighboring cells. So I'm assuming that we are about to see something new, and let's find out. We are going to enter... What is it going to be? We just finished the farmland last time, and now we are going to the next biome, which is the power plant. And let's find out. Again, I'm wondering if there's a cipher involved in the scenery back here, but I don't think I have enough to go on if that is true. So it could just be decoration. I'm not sure if it's that kind of game. Let's see what this first puzzle has. Okay. I see... Well... Okay. So I see a familiar. There is one thing filled in this column, but it appears that this is two cells, but they are activated as a whole. So this is acting like, say, a tile paint puzzle where we have to fill in all or none of a region. Oh, it doesn't like that. Interesting, but it didn't give me the normal... I'm not sure that was the normal failure, unless red is success. It is giving me the next one, so maybe that's just the coloration of the letter. I thought that was definitely a failure, but maybe that is a success. Okay, so I'm thinking, well, let's test that, because I think that if I do this, I have colored two cells. Let's see if that is true. It does not like that. Okay. So this is my one cell, and I was just confused by the coloration. So I guess red is not dead in this case. We are moving through, and now we'll be able to mark the first block, which is two cells. And that will be successful. The music is a little bit calmer so far in this section. That could just be because we're early. I also did turn down the game sound a little bit in the mix because I thought that was a little overwhelming before. And here, oh, that confused me for a second because we got these little background things that I thought was a symbol, but it's not. So this is forced on the right column. That tells me that this one is not filled in. And this one can't be filled in from this column, so that must be filled in. And I think that's a unique solution. Okay, we'll move forward. We get 2 in this column. That satisfies the rest of this, so we are good. And the tutorial for this one is going quite smoothly. This one needs 2, so it's down here. This needs 1 more. It can't be that one because of this clue, so it's that one. And we are done. And the final one of the set. What is forced? Anything? Maybe not. So let's see. There are no cases. What I was looking for were cases where We needed to either definitely pick or definitely not pick one of the longer regions. I don't see that this time. So I guess, like, really this rule set basically is tile paint, where if these were numbers on the outside. And is this a unique one? Okay, well, I'm going to make a guess. I'm going to bifurcate the hell out of this one. So if this is filled in, these two can't be. This clue is fulfilled, so neither of those can be, which forces this one. Now this one is happy, this is happy, this is happy, that's happy. Okay, so that works. Out of curiosity, I am going to say, what if that were not filled in? Then these two must be. These two must be for this clue here. This clue means that this is not filled in, which means from this one, this has to be filled in, and that is a contradiction. But I wonder if there was a quicker way to see that. Again, I don't have to be doing this because the puzzle isn't forcing uniqueness, but I am gathering that this particular one is unique. Interesting. I may think a little bit more about that later, but for now, I'm just going to go back to the known solution. Resolve that here. This one is good. This one is not shaded. That is forced. I just don't know if there was a more elegant way to prove it. But I think that is it for that group of puzzles. And that went quite quickly, so we will push on to the next set and see what happens when presumably they're going to give me other symbols to... Yep. Other symbols to consider along with this one. Oh. Now that's interesting. This isn't how I would have predicted a dot would interact with this new rule. Because the dot says how many of the cells around in the four orthogonally adjacent ones are filled in. But it looks like maybe this whole thing counts as one for the purpose of that rule, but not for the purpose of the other rule. So let's move on with that assumption then. So this says 2 regions surrounding this are filled in, as opposed to 2 cells. All right. One of these 2 regions, 2 of the regions for this one, so that's filled in. This one's happy, so that's not filled in, which forces this to be filled in. Great. We're moving on, and let's see. One of these 2, so this clue means this one must be filled in. This clue means this one's not filled in. This is actually feeling very similar to the dots before. It was just understanding that interpretation of how they would interact. So this clue means that from these 2, this is not shaded. This one means these 2 are shaded. Excellent. And we will move on to... Okay, we got the dot inside a shape. We learned from before that ignores itself. And so these are both just going to be shaded because they both have to be next to one shaded region. They happen to be in that region as well, but I don't think that matters. Here, on the other hand, it does matter. So these 2 dots... Oh, okay. Rethinking again. So I'm going to go back a bit because I was thinking okay, so we had all of these. Okay, so it wasn't until this one that we got a dot inside a region. I was assuming the dot was still relative to the cell. But I think the dot must be relative to the whole region. And it's saying this region is adjacent to a shaded region. The distinction there matters on this one because this 2 dot here would be impossible if this were the one cell, because these two are in the same region. So I think this is saying that this region is next to 2 shaded regions. This is next to 1 shaded region. This is next to 1 shaded region. All right. So dots, regions shaded. I'm making a note of that. Okay. Here, this is next to 1 shaded. This is next to 1 shaded region, so we start there. That means this one is fulfilled, so that's not shaded. This clue is good. This clue needs 2 shaded neighbors, which are those 2. Great. And now this one needs 3 shaded neighbors. And there are 4 possibilities. This 1 dot means that a max of 1 of these 2 is shaded. So these 2 must be for this clue. And then 1 of these 2. And regardless of which of these 2 is shaded, this 1 clue means this one is not shaded. And that cascades to mean from this clue that this one must be the one that's shaded, because it's not this one. So this clue is done. That's unshaded, and we should be good. Great. And we're moving on to a clue that needs 4 shaded neighbors out of 5. Can we do the same thing we did last time? Yeah, we can, because 2 of those neighbors are neighbors of this cell. And so only 1 of them can be shaded, which means the other 3 have to be. That satisfies this dot. So these 2 are not shaded. This clue needs 1 of these 2 shaded. If this becomes shaded, we're making the 4 happy. We're making this 1 happy. And this one would need a shaded neighbor, which would have to be this one. That seems okay. If this is shaded to complete the 4, then this is unshaded. I think we're in a case where we have 2 possible solutions to this one. Because this is fine, and this is also fine. Yep. And we've got a plus an X pentamino in the middle. We're combining our 2 toys. So how do they interact? This needs 5 of these 6 shaded. This clue forces at most 1 of these 2 to be shaded. So these 4 are all shaded, and this clue also is going to force this to be unshaded. That means that from this clue, we know that's shaded. From this clue, we know this is unshaded. Everyone's happy. Wonderful. And let's see. This gets 3 neighbors. This clue means either this one's shaded or both of these are. Those are our 2 options. If this 3 dot is going to say, let's see, we can only have 1 unshaded around here. So that's either going to be this one or this one from this 2 clue. That forces these 2 to be shaded. Okay. Then what? This clue needs exactly one more shaded region among these three. Because it's exactly one more that rules out one of the possibilities we talked about for this clue. It is this one that gets satisfied here. Unshading these two. This one's happy. This one's not happy. It needs another neighbor, and it's going to be that one. Great. We're on the penultimate puzzle. And these are getting harder as we combine all these things. This gets 5 neighbors out of a potential 8. Not very constraining. If the center gets shaded, does that break things? That seems like a potentially bad move because of what it's going to force. But let's play that out. If this is shaded, then these 2 clues are done. This one is happy, so these 2 are unshaded. This one's happy, so that's unshaded. This clue can only be satisfied by this one being shaded. This needs another one shaded, and we have stumbled on a nearly but not quite working solution because this one can't possibly get all 5. So I'm wishing that there was a quick undo. I'm wondering, can I do that by just leaving and coming back, or do I keep my work in progress? Ooh, that's interesting. I keep the marks but not the shades. I don't know how I'm supposed to use that, but that long path, that long bit of bifurcation there tells me that this is unshaded, which will probably give me the answer pretty quickly. This clue are both given. This one now has to be the top 2. From this clue, we need to shade that and that. That makes this one happy, so that's unshaded. This one's happy from that one. This one's done. This needs one shaded neighbor, which could come from either side, I think. And I don't know. Oh, well, the question is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is complete, so we have to unshade those 2. Okay, so that's going to force this one to make this dot happy, and that'll do it. Okay. And we're going to finish up with what? This needs 3 out of 4. Can we use that to our advantage? If it was next to a 1 clue, that would be really handy. But it weren't. So we've got 3 out of 4 of these as well. So these clues seem constraining, but in actuality, since it's a 5x5, this one could be useful. So we get 3 out of 4 of these and only 1 in this row. So that's going to knock out these 2, force exactly one of these to be shaded, force both of those to be shaded. And then, what are the knock-on effects of that? This needs 1 more neighbor shaded. Don't know which yet. This needs 2 out of 3 of these shaded. This needs exactly 1 of these 2 shaded, which is not quite enough to resolve this clue. This one has got 1. It's 1 of these 2. Feels like we should be both basically done from that first that first deduction, but we're not quite. This gets one of these two, but this has two more out of these three. One more of these two. One more of these two. Maybe that one's it. Okay, this dot means one of these two is shaded. This clue means that one of these two, and therefore must be that one. That's something. It's not a great thing. At least doesn't seem so. Because this clue still needs two more. We know one of them comes from one of these two, and all we know now is one of them comes from one of these two. Which doesn't seem to interact with much besides this clue weakly. Because I think both of these could be shaded. These three... Could it be this one? I think it could be. That's disappointing. In this column, 3. Here's 1. And an arbitrary 2 more. So I might be looking for something that doesn't exist. So let's assume that we're in a multiple solutions kind of situation. And we will test, let's see. Let's say this one being shaded. Therefore, this is unshaded. I guess we're in pink mode now. This one is good, so this one's unshaded. This one... let's see, what else has that done? This column... Oh, this column's broken by that. Okay, so let me undo these and see if I can see that more directly. If we shade this one, this becomes unshaded, and this becomes unshaded from this clue. And that breaks this one. So this is unshaded for sure. And that will tell me from this dot that this is shaded for sure. Also, this same clue would tell me that. And I get one more. Oh, but that has left me in not much of a better situation in terms of knowing for sure. So we're back in... So while that was forced, I don't think that got me to a solution. Let's say, what is the most constraining thing to assume? Let's say that this one is shaded because that satisfies this row, satisfies this clue, satisfies this clue, so that's not shaded. Doesn't contradict anything that I can see. We still need to shade two more of these. This is entirely only related to this clue. This is related to both of these, but we've got kind of an X-wing going on here, I think. Because this needs one of these two. And we could do that one and this one, which would force this one. So, okay. Since we have one of these shaded, let's presume that's shaded. We're still in our hypothetical, but I think there might be more than one solution here. This is unshaded. That means that one is shaded, which is fine. We need one more of these to make this happy. It doesn't matter which one. We get that. It does matter which one. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to do all of these pink things because we broke this clue. That's what I hadn't seen. So this is actually forced. There it is. I was just missing that one. And once we have that, this one becomes unshaded unambiguously. This clue needs one more, which comes from here. This clue needs one more, which comes from here. This clue is done. This one needs two more, one of which will be one of these two. This will be the other one. And now, just going through the clues. This one's happy. This one's happy. This is good. This is good. This one's good. This needs two. Yes. This gets all three. This will have its third. This will have its second. So I think we have either this or this as both valid solutions. No, what did I miss? I missed this one up. Now is where I really wish I had a rewind. Because I could... Oh boy. Now I'm feeling like this is a bit of a bummer of a conclusion, because I think this is maybe a unique solution, and I just didn't have a very logical solve path because I missed this. I misread this one as needing a third. So I am going to accept that and move on, because that has solved that puzzle. So apologies for that misstep there. But we have completed this chunk of puzzles. We still haven't seen the snake diamonds yet in this this particular biome, so I'm kind of assuming that this next set is going to combine those with our new non-square regions. But that is more than my allotted puzzling for this particular episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Let's catch that train.